Homeschooling high school. It sounds like a huge undertaking. Just the thought of it may send you into anxious mode. And questions may arise such as, am I really capable of doing this? Will my child be ready for college or the real world? How do I choose curriculum? What about grades or a transcript? Will they be prepared for college entrance exams? Well, I am here to tell you, yes, you can do this. I had the exact same thoughts. I was in a nice little groove until I was suddenly hit with my firstborn entering high school. I was lacking confidence to move forward. I remember asking him, "Are you sure you want to continue?" And his response was, "Why would I stop now?" Well, his answer was just the confirmation I needed to keep going. I immediately set out to develop a roadmap of what we needed to be successful, and I have no regrets. No matter if you've been homeschooling this entire time or if you are just beginning the journey, you can be successful. Let's look at the analogy of driving a car. In elementary years, you as a parent are in charge. You are in the driver's seat. This means you are aware of all the traffic signs, you have clear direction on how to get to your destination. And if you don't know, you seek help so you can arrive on time. In other words, you've been coming up with the schedule, curriculum, extracurricular options, and general other life decisions. Now that your child is entering high school, you've entered a different path on your journey. You are now in the passenger seat and your student takes the driver's seat. You are still the parent and mentor, but now you have also become the guidance counselor and voice of experience. Just as your student begins to drive, which can be terrifying, your student begins taking more responsibility for their studies in high school. They are learning to become more independent as you are learning to let go. However, you are still there to provide the right kind of fuel and give direction as needed. It is equally important to set aside ample time for your high schooler. They still need your support, but now it is in a different way. Well, today I hope to give you some clear direction as you enter this high school journey. I will discuss how to set your student up for success and develop life skills, how to make and plan a high school transcript, how to tackle grading, standardized tests, scholarships, earn college credit, and life after high school graduation. These next 4 years at home with your child are very valuable. As your child's parent and mentor, you can help them to develop to their full potential. You can walk along with them, helping them to define their dreams, set achievable goals, and reach those dreams. One of the most important things we can do with our teen is keep the lines of communication open. Actively listen to them without being defensive. Guide them to explore different areas of interest. Look ahead to the future and have ongoing discussions with your teen during their high school journey. This plays an important part of helping them succeed. Well, what are some ways to accomplish this? One approach is prioritizing time with them through a lunch or coffee date. Maybe you have a child that is very forthcoming in their conversation and you never have to guess what they're thinking. Or you may have a child that you are always asking, "A penny for your thoughts." Well, having one-on-one time will allow them to open up and share their future dreams and plans. Together, you can discuss what they need to put in place to achieve those plans. Encourage them to read and research their interests. The book Career: Ultimate Guide to Planning Your Future explores over 400 career options. Research which careers are growing in your state, which ones have the most openings, the hourly wage, and education needed. Or you can talk to someone in the field of study or job shadow for a day. Well, what if your teen is like one of mine and unsure of what direction their future should go? There are some at-home resources you can use to help your child determine their prospective future, such as Discover What You're Best At or What Color is Your Parachute for Teens. You can also use your local library as a helpful resource to give you some perspective on different avenues to pursue. Well, after doing some of these personality tests with my youngest son, it became apparent why he didn't have a clear direction. He had interest in many different areas, and that is perfectly okay. Through taking some elective classes at the community college while working toward his diploma, he was able to find an interest he eventually pursued. Well, your student can also volunteer and serve in your community. Let them choose to serve in their areas of interest. This is a blessing for both your student and others. And whether they are college-bound or not, this provides a wonderful opportunity. Sometimes having a part-time job of any kind helps students meet different people and they get a feel of what they do or do not enjoy. Some foundational skills to learn as your student steps out into the workforce include being organized, arriving to work on time or early, being dependable, having a positive attitude toward work, completing tasks on time and accurately, seeking out information to improve skills, being flexible and adaptable, completing all tasks even if unpleasant, and understanding dress code or workplace guidelines, and maintaining personal hygiene. These are all helpful skills to learn that they will carry on through their entire life. Life Prep for homeschoolers and Smile and Succeed for teens are just a couple of many resources available to help in this area. Well, along with foundational skills, other life skills are also important. Good critical thinking skills teach kids to ask questions, think for themselves, and not just go along with the status quo. Time management skills are often overlooked but are vital in today's culture with so many distractions. Money management is also imperative to know, along with basic car home maintenance and first aid emergencies. Being an active citizen in your community and teaching the importance of this involvement is also a wonderful asset for your high schooler. And lastly, note-taking and study skills are just as valuable. Well, how do you teach these life skills? You can use ready-made curricula or actively show them, or you can get involved with various clubs or organizations, or use a little of all these strategies. Throughout high school, keep in mind your students' dreams and goals may not become their final destination. As they grow through these years, other interests and gifting may become apparent. Providing them with a college preparatory education, even if they do not pursue higher education, leaves open doors for them and will ensure they have knowledge that will prove to be valuable no matter what path they take. Well, what does a high school plan look like? Generally speaking, the high school requirements include 4 credits in English language arts, 3 or 4 credits in social studies, which typically include U.S. history and government, 3 to 4 credits in math, Algebra 1 included, 3 to 4 credits in science, lab requirements will vary, 2 credits in the same foreign language, a half a credit in health, 1 or more credits in physical education, and 5 or more credits in electives. It is important to check with your state homeschool organization for specific graduation requirements. You can also learn more about your state's requirements at Homeschool Legal Defense Association or hslda.org. A strong high school plan usually includes 26 to 28 credits. If your student is considering a specific university or training after high school, it would be wise to check with their admission department to see if they have certain requirements. If you are unsure about what curricula to use to fulfill these high school requirements, please feel free to contact us and we are happy to walk you through these different options. One of the perks of homeschooling is being able to choose how your student earns their credits and choosing the most effective way for each student to master the material. If you are feeling inadequate to teach a certain subject, I can certainly relate. One of my concerns was being able to challenge and prepare my students for college. I felt like they were already ahead of me in many areas, and it had been a while since I attended high school. I began seeking out people to help in areas I knew would be beneficial to my children. An engineer friend was delighted to help with just the science experiments and going over his test. A retired veterinarian helped with biology dissections. I found a speech and debate club through a co-op for my children to practice public speaking and develop critical thinking skills. If you can't find a co-op, maybe you can consider getting together with another family or starting your own co-op. You may quickly find there are other parents who want the same support. Understanding your limitations and seeking outside help when you need it isn't a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of taking responsibility and creating a solid foundation for your student. There are also many curricula choices available today if you need more teacher help. For example, Saxon Teacher, Mastering Algebra, and Dive videos are available for Saxon Math, Dr. Callahan videos for Jacobs Math, Math Without Borders with David Chandler for Forrester Math, and DVDs with Steve Demme for Math UC. Other independent programs for math include Life of Fred and Video Text Algebra and Geometry. There are also online videos for other subjects. Apologia, Dive, the 101 series, Conceptual Science, and Friendly Science all have videos to aid in science instruction. There are also various websites that provide online science labs. Essentials in Writing and the Institute for Excellence in Writing have wonderful videos for writing instruction. Essentials in Literature is a video course for literature. Analytical Grammar and Jensen's Grammar and Format Writing offer supplemental DVDs to go with their curricula. So as you can see, there are lots of resources available for extra support. Now let's move on to transcripts. How will you make a transcript? I remember being anxious about this one. However, after finishing my oldest son's transcript his senior year, I thought, why in the world did I get so frantic? Transcript planning actually begins early in the high school journey. If your 8th grader is taking high school level courses, these can also be counted toward their credits. You will want to keep good course descriptions, list of text and non-text resources used, and any extracurricular activities such as volunteer positions, jobs, co-ops, classes, or other outside activities. This will make it so much easier when working on a transcript, course descriptions, or student resume. Again, it is wise to begin thinking about the big picture of how your student's high school career will play out. If your student is interested in a specific field, you may want to provide extra study in that area. For example, my oldest son was interested in electrical engineering. It was important for him to have 4 years of science with labs and 4 years of strong upper-level math. My daughter became a nurse and took more anatomy classes. My youngest son took accounting and business courses as electives and eventually pursued marketing. Using your state requirements as a guide, you and your child will want to prayerfully consider their future ambitions. As your team begins the college search, take note of and plan for any specific requirements they may have. Again, it's important to keep accurate records through the high school years and have this information available to provide if the schools ask. It is much easier to keep records yearly than try and backtrack to remember what you have done in previous years. There are different thoughts on how to do transcripts. Some encourage to be more descriptive when listing courses, and others say to be more concise and general. I made my children's transcripts very straightforward. I mainly listed the grading scale, classes taken each year, their grade and GPA by semester and cumulative. Then I made a separate page listing all of our course descriptions just in case a university asked for this information. Only 1 out of 7 universities my oldest son applied to asked for the course description list, but it was handy to have for that one request. My kids also wrote a resume fact sheet stating their volunteer work, employment, and extracurricular activities. Transcripts Made Easy is a book that is straightforward and easy to use. The author provides information on Carnegie units, calculating GPAs, and granting credit for traditional classes, unit studies, work experience, or dual credit classes. We also have helpful transcript planning resources accessible on our website to help you map out the high school years. Additional resources to help with transcripts are available at Homeschool Legal Defense Association, Liberty University, and Regent University's websites. What if your student isn't using a standard textbook curriculum to complete their credits? Simply assign credits based on the number of hours spent on the subject studied. For example, typically a half credit would be given for 60 to 90 hours of work. 1 credit is generally 120 to 180 hours of work, depending on the course. Now that we've talked about transcripts, this might be a good time to mention grading. When entering high school, grading becomes more important. It is an honest evaluation of your students' work that will transfer to their transcripts. Before the high school years begin, spend some time thinking about how you will proceed with grading. Maybe you will only want to grade tests and projects. You might want to give partial credit back for test corrections, or possibly add in a small percentage for daily assignments and/or participation, attitude, creativity, or thoroughness. You can also grade each subject a little differently. For example, for writing assignments, you may want to grade a percentage for organization, content, grammar, and research or effort. On subjects that are a little more difficult to grade, think about mastery. Spend some time evaluating the time spent on the subject. Did your student master the content for an A? Did they do pretty good work but wasn't wholeheartedly involved for a B? Did they do a fair job but their overall performance wasn't quite up to par for a C? Remember, as a parent, if your student is really having a hard time, you have the option to drop the class altogether or pick it up at a later date. Let's talk about standardized testing now. As much as we hate to admit it as homeschoolers, standardized testing provides validity to our students' accomplishments, especially if we have homeschooled in a non-traditional manner. Recently, many universities changed their criteria and are not requiring the ACT, SAT, or other tests for college admissions. However, for homeschoolers, universities still look at the standardized test scores as a way to merit scholarships. It is wise to check ahead of time with the admissions department where your child is contemplating attending, because each college will have their own set of criteria. The earlier you look at those entrance requirements, the more prepared you will be. It's probably a good idea to plan on taking a standardized test twice. The best time to take the test is usually in the spring of junior year. Then your student will have a test score to work with, spend some time studying in the summer, and take it again the fall of senior year. Many universities today are allowing students to superscore, meaning students can use the highest score across multiple section tests. It is very helpful to prepare for these exams by either using good study material or taking a class in person or online. The biggest asset for my children was taking several practice tests to get used to the format. There are several prep books available with practice tests and strategies to help them get ready. Princeton Review, Kaplan, Barron's, and College Board all have excellent resources to prepare. Which test should your student take? ACT, SAT, or CLT? Most universities will say which test they prefer. However, many use conversion tables to translate your composite score into a comparable score on another test. For different reasons, some students take both the ACT and SAT. Maybe your student can take a practice test for each to see which one is best suited for them, or work closely with the admissions department of the universities on the radar. The CLT, or Classic Learning Test, is a newer college entrance exam founded in 2015. It is accepted by over 200 colleges and universities. These universities are usually the smaller private universities. So if you plan on attending a smaller university, you might consider this test because there are specific scholarships related to the CLT test. You can go to cltexam.com and check to see if the universities you are thinking about are on the list. It focuses on logic, reading, and reasoning, and takes its reading excerpts from classical literature. There are 3 required sections and an optional writing section. Verbal reasoning, testing reading comprehension and analysis, is 40 minutes, grammar and writing skills, which are editing skills, 35 minutes, and a quantitative reasoning section, math and logic, for 45 minutes. The optional essay is 30 minutes. All in all, this test is shorter, the reading passages are from classic literature, and there are more logic-based questions. There are 3 ways students can take this test: on a computer in their own home with an online proctor, on an assigned date with an in-person proctor, or through a designated CLT testing school. Make sure you check the website for specific testing dates. Scores are reported the same day. Changes to the SAT were made in 2016. Now the scoring is based on a 400 to 1600 point system and is much more like the ACT test than it used to be. There is no longer a penalty for guessing. There are 4 sections: evidence-based reading, which means all questions are based on passages read; evidence-based writing and language arts; a math section using a calculator; and a math section without a calculator. The reading section is 65 minutes and writing and language 35 minutes. Students will still need to correct grammar and other sentence structure issues. The math tends to be heavier on algebra questions with a lesser focus on geometry. Unlike the ACT, this test does not have a science section, although science questions are incorporated throughout the test. The essay has recently been eliminated, so the total test time is 3 hours. The changes focus more on knowledge and understanding the material rather than on good test-taking skills. The test is offered 7 times a year. The ACT has also had a makeover. It includes a STEM score now, which looks at science and math scores specifically. There are 4 sections: an English, math, reading, and science section. The English section runs about 45 minutes, reading 35 minutes, and may include questions focusing on more than one reading passage. Math is 60 minutes and includes more probability and statistics as well as geometry. And science is 35 minutes. There is no penalty for guessing. If taking the optional essay section, students read short passages, analyze different perspectives, and give their own opinion. The English, reading, and writing scores are also combined to create an ELA score, and there is also a progress toward career readiness score to evaluate how a student might perform in the workplace, and will list some possible career paths. Now students can just retake a specific section on national exam dates without taking the complete test over. ACT is also offering 2 forms of the test: computer-based testing or the normal pencil and paper format. Turnaround time for the computer-based testing is a lot sooner. This test is also offered 7 times a year. Another good reason to study and take standardized tests is for college scholarships. Merit or academic-based scholarships will want to see these test scores. My niece just retook the ACT and gained $3,000 more in scholarships because of her improved score. There are scholarships specifically for homeschoolers and others that are more generalized. There are many scholarships available within each state for homeschoolers. If you contact your state homeschool association, they should have the state-specific scholarship information available for you. Otherwise, there is a Home Education Recognition Organization, or HERO, offering 3 types of scholarships for homeschoolers. One is the Craig Dickinson Memorial Scholarship for $1,000 based on academic achievement. Another is the Mason Lighthouse Scholarship for $1,000 based on community service while homeschooling. And the third is the States of Art Scholarship for $1,000 for students planning on studying visual or performing arts. Other worthwhile websites to look for scholarships that are not specific to homeschoolers are FastWeb or scholarships.com. And lastly, another college scholarship I want to mention is the National Merit Scholarship. This has potential to be a big scholarship for your student. It is based off of the PSAT or Preliminary SAT test by College Board. It is known as a practice test for the SAT or as a National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. My son took this test and actually did become a Merit Scholar. He was awarded a full tuition along with a free room and board scholarship, so I'm here to tell you it can be done. It is recommended to take the PSAT sophomore year to get a good feel for the test, and it also gives you practice for the SAT. Then take it again junior year when it counts. If a student scores well in the 11th grade, they will qualify as a semifinalist for the National Merit Scholarship. If your student then becomes a finalist or Merit Scholar, some universities offer large scholarships. The test is every year in October, and you will need to find a school offering the test and contact the principal or administration office well in advance to make arrangements to take the test. The PSAT is 2 hours and 45 minutes long and tests in math, evidence-based reading, and writing and language. Now let's look at earning college credit. Dual enrollment, AP test, CLEP, or DSST exams are some different options available to accomplish this. Dual enrollment courses are for high school students taking a college class. This counts both as a high school and college credit. Students can take classes online or in person through a community college or other university. Taking a course at a community college doesn't require your student to officially enroll in a college program. However, it can allow your homeschool student to get a jump start on their college career and also earn high school credit. Taking a class through another institution while in high school gives students a way to get their feet wet, so to speak, before entering a full-fledged university. This also looks good on the transcript, showing the student can handle the upper-level study and do well. Two of my children had at least a year of college credit before they graduated high school by taking dual credit classes. It was nice for my younger son who had no idea what he wanted to do after high school. This allowed him to take specific courses such as accounting and business to see if he would enjoy that type of career. However, if your student desires to attend a four-year university and is hoping to apply for freshman scholarships, too many dual enrollment classes may disqualify him because he would be considered a transfer student. Also, keep in mind the workload can sometimes be taxing, so make sure your student takes this into consideration before signing up. Good time management and basic writing skills should be in place before enrolling. Depending on the classes, some viewpoints might not align with your students. However, it can be a great way to talk about these issues in your home environment. Most colleges will want students to take some sort of an academic assessment test or use their ACT or SAT score to determine if they are ready to take dual credit courses. Moving on to AP testing or advanced placement tests. These can be beneficial to show colleges a student is ready for higher academic courses. They are given every year in May. Most colleges will give students credit for a qualifying AP score. It is best to find a nearby school offering the test and sign up before November 15th. This is the exam ordering deadline for schools. Search the AP course ledger at collegeboard.com to find a nearby school. If a student scores a 3 or higher on the exam, they can earn college credit. This allows them to skip some introductory courses in college so they can focus on other classes and perhaps graduate early. There are 38 exams to choose from. AP classes are considered college-level courses because of their rigor, and Ivy League schools tend to like to see AP courses on the transcript. However, even though your student may have taken a rigorous homeschool class, you cannot list a course on a transcript as AP unless it has been reviewed and authorized by College Board. Although if your student took the exam after taking a homeschool course, you could list the course as World History with AP exam on the transcript. Your student may be eligible to become an AP scholar if they score at least a 3 on 3 exams. Students can use study materials such as those on Khan Academy to prepare. Moving on from standardized tests, there are other tests available for high school students to potentially earn college credit. CLEP tests were designed so students can earn college credit in subjects they have mastered by taking an exam. CLEP exams are offered in 34 different subjects and students can choose the test date. Each exam is $89 plus any testing site fees. This is considerably lower than a college class and saves time. The exams take anywhere from 90 to 120 minutes to complete. Registration for the CLEP test is available at collegeboard.com. Once registered, students have 6 months to find a testing center and schedule the test. If a student is thinking about taking a CLEP test, it is wise to check with the university they are interested in to ensure they accept CLEP credits. These credits can be applied toward a student's college degree after they are registered with the college of their choice. DSST exams is another test students can take to earn college credit. This exam is administered by Prometric and offers over 30 different exams. At one time, this test was only available for active military students. However, other students are now eligible to take this exam. The cost is $85 per test and may include additional fees for test sites. Again, make sure to check with your university the student is interested in to see if they accept this exam as credit. Beyond high school, your student has met the requirements for graduation and is now ready to move on. There are many opportunities waiting for your young adult. Maybe your student wants to jump right into the workforce. Or maybe your student wants to take a gap year and work to gain some life experience and earn some extra money. Or maybe your student is desiring to attend college but unsure of a major. It might be wise to go to a community college first to knock out those general education requirements. 2 of my children went this route and got their associate's degree before transferring to a 4-year university. They got a hefty scholarship based on their academic performance at the community college to finish out their 4-year degree. A 4-year university can also be a rewarding experience. Your young adult has an opportunity to be more independent as they continue their studies, meet new people, and get involved in their areas of interest. Visiting different universities their junior and senior year will give them plenty of time to settle on one that is a good fit for them. Another consideration is the online degree. Online learning is not for everyone, but it can be beneficial for students who do well with this type of learning environment. And sometimes students have the option to take just 1 or 2 classes online while meeting in person for others. Choosing to get an online degree saves money and allows flexibility. However, students need to be self-disciplined and have good time management skills. Some homeschoolers desire to have the social aspect at an on-campus learning environment. What if your student is not college-bound but interested in an apprenticeship? Whether it is formal apprenticeship such as plumbing or electrician, or an informal apprenticeship such as furniture making, a seamstress, or chef, it is important to still provide a strong academic background in high school. Selecting a mentor with similar values and one who desires to see your student succeed will create a win-win situation. If you know someone personally that would be willing to offer those services, this is a great start. Otherwise, you can search at websites such as apprenticeship.gov to see if there is a good fit for your student. If an interview is needed for the apprenticeship, help your student prepare by practicing honorable interview skills and displaying a teachable spirit. Other young adults feel a strong pull to serve in our U.S. militaries. They can join different levels of the military, the National Guard, enlisted service, and as officers through ROTC and the military academies. Most of the service related to the National Guard is considered part-time or as needed, and guardsmen are frequently employed either full or part-time within their community. Enlisted service opportunities exist in all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces: Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, and the Coast Guard. According to Homeschool Legal Defense Association, all branches legally recognize a homeschool diploma that meet the specific laws set forth by the state you reside in, along with a parent-generated transcript. They do recommend it be notarized to verify the legitimacy of the parent's signature. Although some recruiters may request a GED, it is not advised that students take this test as it may complicate the process of enlisting. Homeschoolers are also required to take the ASVAB, or the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, which is given to all new recruits. The ASVAB has 9 separate sections, but the AFQT, Armed Forces Qualification Test score, is based on 4 sections: word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, arithmetic reasoning, and mathematics knowledge. A minimum score of 36 is required on the AFQT portion if you have a high school diploma, and at least a 50 if you have a GED. The AFQT scores are directly related to enlistment eligibilities, and the ASVAB scores determine the best job for your student in the military. Other military opportunities include the ROT scholarships. The ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps, is a college-based officer commissioning program and is available from the Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force. It is available in most state and many private schools, including some Christian colleges. This program is designed as a college elective that focuses on leadership development and professional ethics. After completing their studies, graduates are expected to serve 8 years in their branch of service. Well, I've talked about many options for your young people. As homeschoolers, we want our children to succeed, and being knowledgeable about the many opportunities available is the first step towards success. In wrapping up this workshop, I want to leave you with some very positive rewards in homeschooling through high school. Most often, your students' emotional and physical well-being are taken care of, and you don't have to worry about peer pressure. They don't have tons of homework every night, leaving them more time to pursue other interests. They tend to perform better on standardized tests. Most high school coursework is self-directed, and even though you will still be involved, your student will master how to learn independently, which is a huge advantage when entering college and the workforce. According to recent data, homeschooled students often do better than public schooled students in college and have a higher graduation rate. Well, I hope this information has been beneficial to you. The transition to high school can be exciting yet challenging. We can stand in faith that God has a calling, a specific plan and purpose for our children. Raising our children according to their unique personalities, capabilities, and God-given gifts will prepare them for the future He has for them. If God has called you to homeschool through the high school years, He will provide the way for success. Trust Him as you pray for them and pray with them. We have provided an information handout to go along with this workshop, as well as a transcript planning sheet and template that I mentioned earlier in the workshop for you to use through the high school years. You can find these on our website at rainbowresource.com. If you have any questions, please contact us at 888-841-3456, email consultants@rainbowresource.com, or chat with us during our working hours. Many of us have had high school students that have taken different paths, and we have had the opportunity to mentor our children through the process. We are delighted to talk with you as you go through this incredible journey. Thank you for joining me today.